Good evening and welcome to the October 27th meeting of the Beal Early Childhood Building Committee. My name is Sandra Fritz and I'm the Vice Chair of the Building Committee. Chair Jim Kane is not able to be with us this evening. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Please answer in the affirmative. Erin Boucher.
Present.
Keith Baldinger.
Present.
Bob Cox.
Present.
Patrick Collins.
Here.
Chris Girardi. Kevin Mizikar.
Present.
And Dr. Sawyer.
Present.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Valerie Clementi.
Present.
Anticipated speakers on the agenda, please respond in the affirmative. Deb Shear.
Present.
Walter Hartley.
Present.
Sean Brennan.
Present.
David Fontaine Jr.
Present.
And Frank Payer.
Present.
Thank you. Since this is a remote meeting of the Beal Building Committee, it's being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this evening, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Beal Building Committee is convening by Google Meet as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, please permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each board member or staff member who has the lead role for this particular item or guest speaker associated with this item on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members first and then to staff members, inviting each by name to provide any comment or questions. I will then call upon the members to offer a motion and then for a second. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute and unmute your phone by pressing *6 or mute your computer when you are not speaking as to not trigger your camera feed or background noise. The first item on the agenda are our meeting minutes from September 22nd, 2020. Are there any changes or corrections? Seeing none, a roll call vote is required. Ms. Boucher?
Aye.
Oh, excuse me, I have to ask for a motion. I'm sorry about that. May I have a motion that we accept the minutes of September 22nd, 2020?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Roll call vote is required. Erin Boucher?
Aye.
Keith Baldinger?
Aye.
Bob Cox?
Aye.
Patrick Collins?
Aye.
Kevin Mizikar?
Aye.
Joseph Sawyer?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Thank you. Next, we will review and act on the following Fontaine Brothers Inc. change orders, and I'll ask that we take them one at a time. The first is change order number 4, dated October 16th, 2020, for a $22,754 increase to the GMP, which is a drawdown on the owner's contingency. And Mr. Hartley, do you have any comments before we move to a vote?
Just one comment. I sent out a very high-level summary of each PCO included in within change order 4. Nothing out of the ordinary for any type of construction, and the owner's contingency is still in excellent shape for the foreseeable future and the remainder of the project.
Thank you. Do members have any questions or comments? Seeing none. Okay, I'm going to ask that we have a motion to accept change order number 4, dated October 16th, 2020 for $22,754.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote is required. Ms. Boucher?
Aye.
Mr. Baldinger?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Collins?
Aye.
Mr. Mizikar?
Aye.
Dr. Sawyer?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Motion carries. Okay, the second is under change order number 4A, dated October 16th, 2020. It's a $0 increase to the GMP, which is a drawdown on existing GMP allowances and holds. And I'll ask Mr. Hartley if he has any comments on this.
Again, just a quick comment. There's quite a few in here, but one that I'd like to highlight would be the Lake Street sidewalk extension. So monies that were accounted for within the project, within the GMP, being expended at this point in time, well under what was carried. But that work has begun and is underway, with some telephone pole relocation, some guardrail removal and relocation, and some tree and brush clearing. The extent of the work for this winter is going to be wrapped up in the next couple of weeks, and the site work crew will then re-engage in the spring to kind of complete that work. No issues on schedule with that work. But all the other items being drawn down upon are, like you noted, within the GMP, within the allowances that were carried, expected expenditures, and we're in good shape there as well.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions before we move to a vote on this item? Okay, seeing none, a roll call vote is required. First, I'll need a motion again to accept change order number 4A, dated October 16, 2020 for $0. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote is required. Ms. Boucher,
Aye.
Mr. Ballmer,
Aye.
Mr. Cox,
Aye.
Mr. Collins,
Aye.
Mr. Mizikar,
Aye.
Dr. Sawyer,
Aye.
myself, aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next we have to review and act on the following bill schedules and warrants. Fontaine Brothers, Inc., requisition number 20 for $4,262,610. LPAA, Inc., invoice 1717-2009 for $69,545. PMA Consultants, LLC, invoice number 04110-40 for $64,020.33. And AppGeo invoice 21543 for $3,878.75. Are there any questions or comments on these bills? Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion that we accept the bills, vendor expense items as noted in the warrant that we've received.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote is required. Again, Ms. Boucher,
Aye.
Mr. Ballmer,
Aye.
Mr. Cox,
Aye.
Mr. Collins,
Aye.
Mr. Mizikar,
Aye.
Dr. Sawyer,
Aye.
myself, aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next we'll hear and review and act on the following matters. The first is a report from the owner's project manager.
Okay, this is Deb Scher. Valerie sent out the budget summary for the meeting on Monday morning, and all of the contract values remain the same. Architect's contract, $7,310,631. PMA's OPM contract remains at $2,875,085. Fontaine's GMP, inclusive of change orders 2 and 3, that's $72,665,844. Again, the same as last month. Total invoices through September against the project, $46,391,115. It leaves us a balance to finish of $41,611,044. That gets us to the $92,159,000. That is the PFA bid amendment value. We've encumbered $83,967,825 to date, including the cost of the land, builder's risk, miscellaneous invoices. It leaves a remaining project budget of $8,034,334. We've submitted to ProPay a total of $41,994,039. The project has received reimbursement payments to date of $13,709,166. We just put in propay number 26. Hard copy went to the MSBA today. That included both July and August invoices. So based on our calculation of the reimbursable costs submitted in propay 26, the district should be looking for pending reimbursement of approximately $4,050,551.
Great, thank you.
The budget summary.
Great, thank you, Deb. Any questions or comments?
I could just provide a quick update on contingencies. I know we kind of talked about it last month or maybe even the month prior, but we did, PMA, Fontaine, and LPA did just finalize one of the last buyouts, and it was sent over for review. So buyouts are in an unbelievable place. Fontaine has done a great job. LPA has done a great job. For a quick update, the owner's contingency was about $4.37 million. Currently tracking against that, inclusive of that change order 4 that was just previously approved, and any known items at this time is about $61,000. Remaining there is about $4.3 million and $8,000 in that bucket. So as I was stating prior, in great condition there. As we noted at the last meeting, the way PMA tracks the CM contingency or GMP contingency is all items within the GMP that we're going to be potentially drawn down against. So that value is about $6.88 million, and we've utilized about $975,000 of that, and that is what's exposure at this point in time. So remaining there is about $5.9 million. Soft cost owner's contingency, which is separate from construction contingency, is $777,000, $0 of which has been expended or has any exposure against. So I just want to again give kudos to LPA, Fontaine, and the district as well for looking at this project through a great lens and keeping their eye on getting what Shrewsbury needs and nothing superfluous and just doing a great job.
Great, thank you. Any further comments or questions?
Just one, Mrs. Fritz. I would just ask Deb Sheriff if she's run into any problems with MSBA in terms of reimbursement or unexpected costs that have been excluded.
No, I haven't, Patrick. They're pretty much towing the line on what what is normally excluded, and then the exclusions that they applied when we got our PFA bid amendment.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, not seeing anybody. Thank you. Okay, next we'll have an update report from the architect, Sean.
Good evening. Construction, as you saw from the recent pay app, we're about 54% complete. Those of you that have been able to drive by the site or visit the site, you're really seeing there's a lot of the exterior finishes are going up. We had the privilege of having quite a few of the school district's stakeholders, maybe future occupants or just colleagues, do some tours on 2 separate nights over the past 2 weeks. And I think we have another one planned coming up with a few other stakeholders, and those have been great. Those of you that were at the groundbreaking, we utilized the same 3D views that we utilized at the groundbreaking to allow people to get a view of the site and inside the building while we toured it, which I think was very helpful. And I'm going to just quickly show a couple other views to kind of build on that, because I think a lot of people are going by the site and are probably curious what it's going to look like and where it's going to be. So I just a few images here. You can see what's on my screen, correct?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So as you recall, this is what the site looked like before we touched it at all. As you know, we did major kind of realignment, both vertically and horizontally to Lake Street, got rid of the existing Glavin Center, but much of the road that you see in the lower portion of this window, the same grading was kept. So when you see the site plan on the next slide, you'll get the sense of where that road is and how it leads down and around. I thought this would be a great kind of reminder of what is going on site, the Lake Street realignment. We have this large existing knoll with a large beech tree. What you're going to see on the next slide is the new Beal School entry sign and how it looks currently and what it's going to look like in a proposed rendering. You see the building. South on the page, you have the paved play area. You can see the two playgrounds in the purplish, teal, blue colors on either side of the building, and then the kind of public gardens and courtyard spaces. The kind of terraced shaped parking lot in front of the building. So this is really kind of what you're looking over when you come up and over Lake Street when you take a look to the side. In the bottom right corner, you're seeing the formwork for the sign that's going to be, as you can see, fully rendered in the larger image on this screen. So when you take a swing by, what you're seeing there is roughly kind of the height of what the final version is going to be. The grade's going to fill in around it, just like in the visual here. That's as if you're approaching south. This is if you're approaching north up Lake Street, heading back towards Route 9. And this is the view after you head south and look to the right. Not all of the finishes, actually this picture is about a week old. A lot more finishes are up, but I want to go back and forth between this photo and the final rendering so you get a sense of what it's going to look like in the end to kind of remind everybody. There's a large drop-off canopy for buses that come and drop off students during inclement weather that carries right into the main lobby. And that is about all I wanted to kind of show you guys to give you a quick update. And next month, just like previous months, we will have some other visuals comparisons to what we are proposing in the future and some additional drone footage. If anyone has any questions about what I was showing, otherwise I'll just turn it back to you, Sandy.
Thanks, Sean. Any questions or comments for Sean? Okay.
Just,
Not seeing-
I'm sorry. So we were supposed to have a drone flight on Friday, but our pilot got sick. So that's to happen tomorrow. You'll probably see that on the website within the next couple of days. So everybody know.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, not seeing anyone. Okay, thank you, Sean. Next, we'll have a report from the construction manager.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Frank Pear. Just to touch upon some of the things that Sean and Walter talked about. The buyouts are done. Walter gave kudos to Fontaine and LPA, but he was a part of those buyouts and de-scoping all the subs. So that was a great thing to get behind us. As far as the construction, right now we are through the month of October. I've already calculated where we're at. We're about 60% complete. So we're rounding the horn. Outside, we're just about fully enclosed. The mason will be done in a couple of weeks, and right on his tail is the metal siding contractor. The windows are going in the academic building, and they started some of the curtain walls and some of the larger openings like the media center. Inside, all the mechanicals, all the major equipment is on site. Elevator will be coming in a week or two. We're just waiting to finalize the permanent power. Temporary heat is on. We worked with Eversource. We got the heaters out there. As Walter mentioned, we have coordinated with the town's DPW, with Selco for the Lake Street realignment. But then on the inside, we started the finishes. I don't know if the last time you saw, but the ceramic tile has started, painting, acoustical ceiling grid. We have millwork showing up there tomorrow for the mock-up room, and then next week, the balance of the millwork will be coming for B building. So overall, things are going the way that they're supposed to. You know, every day we have our bumps and bruises, but that's the nature of the beast. That's what we're paid to do. So I'm used to it by this point, but other than that, all is well.
Thank you, Frank. Any comments or questions for Frank? Frank, I have to ask the Jim Kane question that's asked is there anything that you're worried about or things that you think in the future may be delayed, or are we pretty?
No, the only thing that I haven't been able to get a good answer on, and it's kind of not a silly thing, but just it's not driving me crazy at the moment, is the pressure treated guardrails. I'm having a hard time with the pressure treated lumber these days, getting those, and I reached out to him today to see if he had an answer, and I didn't get a response. But it's not holding up anything, but it's on our tracking list. And one last thing, I want to say this. I have somebody that you don't get to see often is a fellow. His name is Ryan DePasquale, and he works his rear end off. And without him, it would be much tougher to do my job. So I want to give kudos to him. He doesn't get enough praise. He's behind the scenes, but he balances a lot of plates. So,
Great, thank you. I think this still remains a good news story on time, moving along. So that's great to hear for all of us in the community. Any other comments or questions? Nope, I'm not seeing any. Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have set the day for our next meeting, which is already set for November 24th, 2020. And if there's nothing further for this evening, I'll ask that we have a motion to adjourn for the evening.
Second.
Thank you. A roll call vote is required. Aaron Boucher,
Aye.
Mr. Ballinger,
Aye.
Mr. Cox,
Aye.
Mr. Collins,
Aye.
Mr. Mizikar,
Aye.
Dr. Sawyer. Myself, aye. Thank you and good night.